And hello to all friends, potatoes are with you. This is the 8th part of the Botany Fashion Guide for version 1.16.5, but before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. We continue to study our botany, and today, we will consider such a section called natural devices. As you can understand from the name, there will be various devices that will work from natural magic. By the way, there are quite a lot of them. Well, the first thing we will consider is an open box. Let's take it. I also take a funnel and a lever to demonstrate its work. Next, let's make such a small hill, and here I will put an open box and a funnel on top, because there will be no way to feed resources into this box. And as you know, resources can be stored in the mailbox, but not here. Look, in general, let's put a lever on it here and activate it. Then, we go into the funnel and put, let's say, 64 turf there. Nothing happens. We press the lever, and now the turf begins to fall alternately here. This can be used in some mechanisms, for example, to feed the coals into the flame of the edge, which will be quite convenient. Let's say there is such a pressure plate. It makes a traditional signal and sends it here. The next device is an hourglass. We take them. I will also take sand, red sand, sand shower, mana powder, and distributor. Look, what is an hourglass? This is considered to be a timer that will give a signal at changes with a certain delay. How to set this delay? Just the same, it will depend on the sand that we put there and how much we put there. Ordinary sand will give 1 second, respectively. If we put 64 sand, then more than 64 seconds. Red sand will give 10 seconds, but the shower sand will give 1 minute. If we put 30,000 souls in there, let's say, then we will have a delay of 30 minutes, and once every 30 minutes, it will give us a signal. And infinitely, well, that is, looped. Let's say we take 3 sands and poke the PCM. And look, 3 seconds pass, and he just turns over and gives a signal. This can be read using a regular redstone. Then let's say let's put 1 sand shower here, and here, we will have to wait for a whole minute until it all pours over and they turn over. Also in this hourglass, you can put mono powder. Depending on how many mono powders we have here, it will all be reflected in how many monopulses it will need to give him. In general, let's take a look at it. Here, I put 1 mono powder here. Nothing happens. Nothing is sprinkled at all. Now let's put our distributor here. A pool at the back, and also a lever. Activate it. Look, 1 pulse passes here, and they turn over. If we put, let's say, not 1, but 3 powders here, then we have 1 pulse, then 2, and finally a third. And now everything will turn upside down. That's how it all works. The next one is also quite an interesting device, a lively torch. Let's take it for its demonstration. I will also take a red stone, an hourglass, even sand for them, and we can also interact with it with the help of a regular mana distributor. Let's put this lively torch on the ground, and let's put 4 redstone here as well, just to show his work. First of all, this is how it will lie with us, and if we click on it with a PCM, then it will simply turn, and accordingly, the redstone on which it looks will light up. Then we can put an hourglass over it, and let's say we make it a delay of 1 second, and look once a second. It will just turn around in this case, by 180 degrees. In order to change this, we make our staff a forest functional mode, and so MPCM, here we have a turn, look, that is by 90 degrees, any one will be random, and the switch will be 180 degrees, respectively. And also, look with this torch here, it can be interacted with using, as I said, an ordinary mana distributor. To do this, let's make such a hill here. Let's say we put distributors here, point it at this torch, and now we will make mana for it from behind. So we have a little bit of it crashing here, so let's rebuild it all, and let's say we make a lever here. All click, see the visit on Tuckmoney, and turns over this torch. It can also be used in some mechanisms. The next very useful and interesting device is called a botanical cooking rack. Let's take her. Also, you will need bubbles to work, or you can use such flasks, but we will have more potions in them, and, accordingly, they will be more expensive to craft. What kind of potion is it that we are going to consider now? Also, to work with this rack, we will need mana and some ingredients in order to create various potions. What kind of potion? Let's go to the book. Then here's the botanical cooking rack, and look through it here. We have here just the same show all the crafts, and here, first of all, here we have such a speed in business, here is haste, then more strength and so on. Look, we have 2 variations. This is in a bubble and also in a flask. We will have 4 doses in the vial, and as many as 6 in the flask. But the flask, as I said, will be more expensive to craft. Well, there are also a lot of them here. There are also other crafts, improved. This is a complex brew. Here we describe more cool complex potions. Here, let's say strength 4, speed 3, weakness 2, and also gold and damage -8. Here, in general, it is necessary to calculate this whole thing. But let's put this botanical cooking rack. It looks like this, very beautiful. It looks a little like a rune altar here, but the crafts here are completely different. Let's say I want to make a speed potion now. To do this, you will need to place one, or a vial, or a flask here, just a key cm and given the ingredients. For speed, you will need a non-grain growth, sugar, and also dust growth. Let's put them in as well, and now it will be necessary to apply mana here. It is served with the help of, let's say, a traffic police mana distributor. We poke like this. Now everything is being quickly crafted, and we get our potion for 4 doses, and the speed turns out to be 1.5 minutes. The same thing will happen with the flask, only as I said, craft will be much more expensive. Let's take a look at it. Yes, there was how many? 1-2 shots, and now there are already 2 shots, 3 probably 4. And finally we got our flask. We can drink it and get our effect. We also have such incense sticks. These are like potions, only they will spray us on the contrary, so to speak. The effect is from themselves. In other words, we will not apply them to ourselves. First of all, you will need to make such a blank. It will be considered as a flask or a bubble. And then, you put it on our cooking rack, and also all the ingredients. Here, I would even say probably 6 times more is spent here. And here we are finally getting our romantic wand at speed 2 for as much as 90 minutes. But how is this all going to work? In order to activate it, because it is not active now, we can run with it. Nothing happens. To do this, we will need to make such a special aromatic stove and set fire to the whole thing. That is, look, we are putting this aromatic stove, poking it with an aromatic stick, so we install it here and set it on fire here. And now look, here we have a speed of 2 superimposed on 90 minutes. It turns out that, but it's not on us, but this stick will burn for 90 minutes. If we run away from here quite far, then the effect will be removed. Well, in general, here we have such cool potions and sticks here. Then, we have various drums. There is a drum of wildlife, collecting, and also the destruction of the forest. All of them will work in our stationary mode, only for mana, which will be supplied to them with the help of a mana distributor. Let's take a look at it. Let's say we fly somewhere here. Here, I think it will be fine to put the first wildlife, then the fees, and also the destruction of the forest. And we'll power them all up. The first reel is wild. Let's activate it and see what happens. He will just break all the grass around him. Here we go again. We even have such an impulse, so to speak, a kick on the drum. And here the grass breaks a little bit here. And that's about his radius of work is like this here. Next, we have a drum. This is a drum gathering. He will collect sheep wool from us. Well, that is, it will just fall out on the floor, and will also collect milk from cows. If we have an empty bucket lying nearby, let's try it now. Let's say we have a cow. There is an empty bucket here, and we press the lever. Come on. Mana's flying, and for some reason, by the way, nothing is going to happen, although it should be according to plan. Let's give our cow a little push. And yes, it turned out. Milk is collected. And also, all the sheep that would be here, all of their wool would just come off. They would become bald. And finally, the drums destroy the foliage. Let's activate it. And what will he do there? Probably will break the foliage. And so it is. Look, here it is. We have foliage there nearby, and it breaks. About the same as grass. The next natural device is the Eye of the Ancients. Also quite an interesting thing. To check it, we will need a recomparator, redstone dust, and also any animal. It is an animal, not a monster. Let's put the Eye of the Ancients, a comparator to it. From the comparator, let's take away such a traction signal. Let's remember one cow here, nothing happens. Let's recall the second one. Here a signal appears in 1 unit. Let's recall the third one. Now the signal is in 2 units. The fourth, now the signal is 3 ones, and so on it will be. In general, this Eye of the Ancients will be a detective of all living beings, not counting any monsters, but they are not alive, and accordingly, give signals through the comparator. Then, there is such an interesting block, called the abstruse platform. This is a very simple block to understand. Look here, I'll put it up, and try to go through it. Everything is going great, but if I stand on it, then we will really stand on it. If I click on the shift, then I will fall and be right in it. I will be able to get out the truth. And what's also very cool, we can remake it into any other blocks. Let's say we have turf, and now this turf will have the same properties as the platforms, only different textures. Here we can pass through here and also stand and fall. This can be used in some secrets. The next very interesting device is the cocoon of life. What is the cocoon of life? After a while, an animal like a cow, sheep, pig or chicken will hatch out of it with a 90% chance and a 5% chance that a wolf, an ocelot and a horse will hatch. But if we poke Horus at this cocoon, then there will be a 5% chance that a shocker will hatch out of it. And if we come here 20 times like this, then we will have a 100% chance that a shocker will hatch. That is, here we poke, and here we have poked like this 20 times, and now a shocker will hatch here 100%. And if we rub emeralds like that 20 times, then there will be a 100% chance that it will hatch a small inhabitant. And by the way, it is small variations of animals and also residents that will hatch, but not counting the shocker, because we only have an adult shocker. The next very interesting destructive block is called We Are on a Storm Charge. Let's take it, and to activate it, we will need any bundle of mana. And let's fly away somewhere, because there will really be such a powerful explosion. Let's say somewhere in the swamp to Shrek. So, we put our Monostorm charge. Now we put a distributor here, a mana pool, and activate the whole thing. Here it breaks down. Such a big beam appears, and everything begins to collapse. It will be true, not quite right, a very big explosion, naturally not like from a nuclear bomb, but still also very unpleasant, and quite long-lasting, because you can see that we have not finished anything here yet, and it will just grow, it becomes more and more. It's really very, very huge, like this it will become, and eventually explode, and fire will appear here. Right now, you can see that it is getting bigger and bigger. The next two useful blocks are the alchemical catalyst, and also the witchcraft catalyst. These catalysts will only work with pools of mana. Let's take them. They will need to be placed exactly under the pool of mana, so we will have an alchemical one on the left, and a witchcraft one on the right. And look, let's say in alchemy, you can transform rotten flesh into skin just for mana. I think it's pretty cool. And in witchcraft, you can exactly double any items, but the truth is that they are described in this book. That is, let's say this stone, light dust, and so on. Let's try to do this. Throw one speck of dust, we are given 2. That is, I have got 4 and 1 extra. Pretty cool. Next, I would like to tell you about such a section called Charles Mana Overlay. Here, it will be necessary to build such a large structure. Let's visualize it. For construction, you will need 17 obsidian, a lapis lazuli block, 10 of any mystical colors, 6 pylons, and in general everything. Obsidians are placed as follows. Then, there is a lapis lazuli block. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers. Here again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 flowers. And finally, we put mana pylons over them. And what will she do? Let's take a look at it. First of all, you will need to activate it using the functional mode. We poke the PCM here and that's it. Now our entire structure is absolutely in working order. What can we do here again? We can enchant any items here that are charmed at all without using books. True, we will need books as samples, but they will not disappear from us in any way. Let's say we enchant this sword for repair and also sharpness 5. To do this, we put a sword here, throw a repair and also a sharpness into this circle. So for some reason, the repair didn't work out for me. Well, let's string the recoil too. And now it will be necessary to somehow organize the mana supply here. We will do this with the help of sparks. Here is a spark, and also let's say, here is a pool, and here is a spark. Now we poke the PCM with the functional mode for this block, and see what happens. We're starting to get charmed. Mana is flying here. Mana is also flying there. Everything is very beautiful. And now soon we will receive our enchanted sword, and the books will not go anywhere. Then, such a pentagram takes off, and literally inhabits this sword. All with such a cool sound, we get an enchanted sword. We can take it away, and also here they are our books. Here, by the way, we have a fix, and the fix was probably just invisible, sharpness, and also recoil. And in this way you can enchant any objects that are charmed at all here. Let's say the armor is there, weapons, tools, and so on. The next interesting block is the desecrated pumpkin. Let's take it, and also take 2 iron rods. A desecrated pumpkin will look like this, and it doesn't seem to have any of its properties. But if we put it on 2 iron rods in this way, and now we put a pumpkin on top, it appears in spoles. Pretty expensive craft, but if we kill him now, then there is a chance that quite a lot of fire powder will fall from him. Note not the rods. Let's try to kill him again. And even I once knocked out about 20 of these fire powders here. Now we have 10. In general, the chances are small, but still sometimes it can be useful. Next, I would like to say that you can use manda pylons not only in any structures, but also even instead of bookshelves. Let's put a magic table, and in the block at this magic table, I will put 1 pylon of mana. Now we go into it, and here we have the maximum level of the 16th. We put another second, and here the maximum level of the 30th, that is, in general, the maximum that can be in Minecraft. And this is the cheap way you can organize your bookshelves. Next, let's look at the assembly box. For him, I will also take these crafting templates. Let's say this is the 6th one, which is x3, and also the 2nd one, which is 2 by 2. I also take a funnel to load various items, in this case boards. And I'll also take these placeholders here by the collector. What is an assembly box? It's like an automatic workbench, only it's a little more complicated to work with. Look, here we also have, in my opinion, his work is described in the book. Everything is shown very well in the picture. Now, if we serve various items into it, then the first item will fall here, to this place of crafting, the second here, the third here, respectively. Then here we serve an empty one in this case. This placeholder turns out to be that of this crafter. This means an empty place. Then a stick here, the 6th is empty too, the 7th is empty, the 8th is a stick, and the 9th is empty. As a result, we get a pickaxe here. But also, if we have various templates here that facilitate this whole thing, we can put, let's say, such a 6th template, which is 3 by 1. Thus, these slots are blocked here. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd remain. And now, if we serve here, let's say with the help of a funnel, 1, 2, 3 boards, immediately we are crafting. And the craft that we laid out here will spit out from below, namely 6 oak slabs. If we want to, let's say here, we make a pressure plate made of wood on this crafter, but here we have 3 slots, as you can see. Then we throw here 1, 2 boards, and here is a placeholder collector. As a result, we also spit out the whole thing, together with the filler, and get an oak pressure plate. Well, that's how it works. Next, let's consider such a spectral platform. It is very similar to the one we considered before. I don't remember what it was called anymore. That's for a smart platform, but it has some other property, namely, it simply cannot be located on it. It will be immediately so intangible, you can't even get up from above. We can also change the textures for it, and in general it's the same as it was before. Suddenly look at it even in our dark. That is, in fact, it is air with textures. The next thing we will consider is spectral rails. Let's take rails and a trolley here, and see what spectral rails are. I'll put it here, and also here. After some distance, let's put a continuation of this line. And what will happen if we let the trolley go here? Well, we push it and look, it literally takes off, and should fall on the rails at all, but something went wrong, and it flew over a little. Let's do it again. Oop, let her in. Here it takes off, and finally falls on these rails. It will also pass quietly through the walls. If we have such a big wall here, and we are launching this trolley here, and look at it, fly straight through the blocks. Then, there is a totem from life by a tree. With this totem, you can use various staffs without holding them in your hands. That is, look, here we have totems of life with a tree. We give him, let's say, a rod of hell. By the way, the list of wands is also described in the book. We can read here, this is the wand of heaven, hell, and also the magi. In this case, I gave him the atom rod. Then see that he works. He will need to be fed mana with the help of a distributor. In this way, here it is already being transmitted, and so that it has already begun to use this rod. It will just be necessary to remember the creepers here. Look, we will remember them here, and now, a fire is created with the help of this rod, and they burn in it. Well, this is how you will have a wooden friend in your solo survival. And finally, the last item from this section is Terra Zoom. It's a very interesting name, but let's see what it is. If you put this doll in the world, let's say there will be dolls, then the length of the rain will decrease, and also the purity of the rain will be less. You will have it go less often, and if it goes, it will go much less. But we can also summon rain with the help of the Terratur. To do this, you will need to give a blue orchid, and here we do not have a 100% chance, of course. We just poke, and now rain will be called. Come on, something is not being called for everything. Finally called up. Terraruza has changed his mood. Here you can see the sad thing has now become, and it's raining. But we can also remove it with the help of a sunflower tick PCM, and also with some chance the rain will be removed. That's it. Now the weather has become clear, and the Terratura Bose has become so cheerful again. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.